With kids headed back to school, sports and other after-school activities will soon be picking up for your family.
Sports can be an important part of a child's upbringing. They teach kids things like teamwork, dedication, and how to win and lose with grace.
Well, these days, kids are competing at a younger age and at higher levels sometimes. That could mean more money, more travel. Denver 7's Megan Lopez goes 360 on finding a healthy balance for families.
We haven't played this in so long.
Life is full of competition.
Right. Can you shuffle them up?
From the smallest board game
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
to the biggest athletic events. Talent can start at a young age and take years of dedication to develop. Making it to the next level requires sacrifice and grit, not only from the athlete, but their family as well, leaving some parents and professionals looking to strike a balance. So let's go 360. Some parents are making big life changes so their kids can compete. Others are worried about too much focus on sports. A psychologist says competition is just part of life, while a DU professor believes it can have consequences. For the Guttridge family,
both of my boys play at the AAA hockey level.
Hockey is life.
Between the two of them, they practice 6 days a week. We split up the drives between my mom, my husband, and myself.
Nicole and her husband noticed their son's potential at a young age. But that type of talent requires commitment.
They travel with their team 7 to 9 times during the fall and the winter.
And with commitment comes sacrifice.
Mason missed almost 40 days of school last year. Jordan missed around 32 days of school. We were receiving letters from the district.
The boys still have good grades, but travel was taking a toll. So this year they're switching to a hockey-intensive school.
This new school will just help us to have flexibility in their schedule. They do their training during the day and their schooling as well.
Hoping a new school will strike that balance. Meanwhile, in the world of Colorado gymnastics,
he does 5 days a week, 4 hours a day practice.
12-year-old Parker Lufer is a rising star. He's a junior Olympic gymnast.
This is Parker's Guinness World Record certificate.
And a world record holder.
For the most double leg circle rotations on a mushroom trainer.
His father, Brad,
Sometimes I wonder, if it's a little too much.
spends a lot of time worrying about him.
I feel like I'm sending him away to a part-time job sometimes.
The decision to compete at this level wasn't easy.
We didn't want to sacrifice his entire childhood for this sport.
But he believes there are important life lessons kids can learn from sports.
Discipline, work ethic, self-confidence. He fails a lot, and I think that his failing has really helped him just in life in general.
So he leaves it up to Parker to decide how much time to spend on gymnastics.
As long as he wants to do it, and as long as he loves it, then we're going to support it.
But there can be downsides to sports.
The competitive nature and the whole thing of the zeitgeist around sports sometimes just makes people crazy.
From injury
You look nowadays too at traumatic brain injuries, concussions.
to exclusion.
Young people with lower means participate in sport less. Parents have high expectations when they're paying more.
Brian Garrity is a former college football player, a sports professor at DU, and a dad.
I push my children too, all right? I push them to understand how to succeed.
Garrity's son recently decided to step out of gymnastics, a decision he supports.
He said, I'm not having as much fun anymore. And we talked about it and developed about a 2-month plan to finally withdraw.
For Garrity, the bottom line is that sports should be fun.
We confuse sport and play because sometimes we play sports, but not all sports are play.
And I think what really sort of underlies all this stuff is identity.
There's more to sports than simple athletic ability.
How do you identify success? How do you identify failure?
Psychologist Steve Pertenga knows that all too well.
It's very easy, especially in the world of sports, to put all of your sense of self into your performance.
He says competitiveness can happen at any level and that parents can put unintentional pressure on their kids.
Asking, did you win versus did you have fun? Did you learn something? It's a small thing, but it creates a very big impression.
But sports and competition can be important.
Because for better or worse, competition is sort of an inherent part of how we do a lot of things in our culture.
Not only on the field, but in life. That's why it's important for parents.
Teach through those processes as opposed to try and protect and hide and pretend that they don't exist.
Whether it's at the gym, or in the hockey rink, or at home, it's up to each family to decide how to find a balance between the love of a game, the push for success, and the sacrifices to make along the way. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
And not as many multi-sport athletes anymore either. We want to hear your perspectives. How do you find the balance for your kids between school, sports, and a social life?
So people have already been chiming in on this post on the Denver 7 Facebook page. You can also share your view by emailing us. Just send it to 360@thedenverchannel.com.
Meanwhile, our back-to-school coverage continues all month long here on Denver 7. Next week, we'll look at how kids can get a degree for free before they ever graduate high school. And we're going 360 on dodgeball. Is it fun or oppressive?
So remember, if you have a problem in your child's school, we are here to help. Email us backtoschool@thedenverchannel.com with any of your questions, comments, or concerns.